Okay. Did Pretzel Rock explode? What happened? Okay. Great. Oliver, hello, hello, welcome in. I've lost my glasses cleaner again. I don't know how I keep doing this. This is like... I just opened a brand new one because I've lost the old one. And now I've lost the new one. Found it. It's crammed in my sketchbook. Makes total sense. Monica, welcome in. And my first day back at school today. Nice. Summer is over, I think. At least it feels like it. It's getting cold here. It's probably going to be really hot through October, but I don't know. We'll find out. I was thinking about removing my AC, putting it back in the shed. Okay. Let's get this going. Let's get this going. Got a whole bunch of stuff going on today. I'm alright. Oh no, where's my pen? There it is. Nice isn't the word I would use for it. I like winter. I prefer winter. It's cold, but like blankets are a thing. Sweaters are a thing. I can light my fire in the house again. I can cook without the house getting unbearably hot. A whole bunch of stuff going on this week, though. So, well, this week is next week. I am going to have to go get eye surgery again next week, which sounds really scary, but I don't think it is that scary. So there will not be a viewer suggestion next Wednesday. We'll do one on Friday, and then next week I'll probably try to get a video out, and then we'll do one on Friday again. So, yeah. In the meantime, stickers are available now. If people would like to get the otter stickers, all the otter stickers are in. Selling them in the sets. So if people would like to get sets of otter stickers, you're very welcome to. And yeah, that's where we're at. We got otter stickers. All the Patreon members who are Bugbear and above, I'm going to mail those out tomorrow. Give people one last chance to sign up for the Patreon if you'd like. Snag some otter stickers. It's going to be a big package, so it's a good deal. But if not, you just want to order the otter stickers, you can either order them via me, or you can go through the Redbubble store and buy them individually, which will be a little bit more expensive, but you can kind of customize which ones you want. So well, that's that. That's my plug for the day. We're going to draw a rugby. We're going to draw... Oh, no, the list. I screwed up the list. 1 second, everybody. The list is not built right. Hold on a second. We do have a list. We do have a list of all the people that suggested content on Monday. Monday, yesterday, and today. Let me snag that real quick. We'll clean that up so we can actually use it. We're going to roll some dice. Whatever the dice gods say, we're going to draw. That's our plan. That's our plan for the day. That's how we do this.
Rugby first.
But rugby first, yeah.
Hello, by the way.
Welcome in.
Hi, chat. It's me, the bluest druid.
I've been watching some Draw Feet, and God, those guys are silly. They're always riffing on each other for like no reason.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
It's really funny.
I think it's Karina's love language.
Maybe. That would make sense. Uh-oh. Why can't I? What? Hmm?
Aggie taking a poop?
Excel is taking a poop.
Even worse.
Yeah. I can no longer format this. What's happening? I would just like to order these so I can remove all of the subscriber names, please.
Yeah, Creative Dragonling, I agree. Drawfee is like the one of 3 YouTube channels that I will watch a video as soon as it comes up. Although harassment is not my love language, I do love Karina. She brings a lot of sass to the party, which is very funny. I was trying to draw. I don't know if anybody hasn't watched their drawing new TMNT characters based off of random prompts. I was trying to draw K-pop and I kept messing up the hands. I think I'm gonna finish it this week though. Probably post it. My brother's in their Patreon, so maybe I'll ask him to post it there for them so Karina actually sees it. If you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, then ignore it. We'll move on.
Good. There it is. Wayne Reynolds. Liked my message I sent to him, even though I was like, I should have sent a drawing. But whatever. So he replied to me. That was nice. So
really? That's so cool.
It's good to message people you like on the internet.
Yeah.
Like, hey, thanks for being awesome.
Please sign my yearbook.
Yeah, right. Okay, we got a list. We got a list now.
My control key is sticking. I'm gonna need to clean that, I think.
Whoa, okay, let me catch back up on chat here. Karina is mood. Wondering whether I should continue watching this, read Harry Potter, Goblet of Fire, and watch to the end of the video. I mean, do what you want. Just got 100% complete on Armor Core 6. Now to watch Rook stream. Nice. Really, 100%? Damn. Was that hard? I watched my friend play for maybe an hour or two this weekend. And he kind of crushed it. Like, it didn't seem... He had like 1 or 2 spots where he got a little hung up. But it didn't seem like Dark Souls level of difficulty, which probably is not the intent for Armor Core. Because Armor Core is usually like technically challenging. Like, you're supposed to kind of balance your mech and stuff and then wreck shit. So like, kind of the min-maxer's dream. I don't know what happened to Rugby here. Yeah. Wasn't too hard. Found a really OP build that's hard carried for getting S ranks in all missions. There you go. I assume low ammo, high armor. You just kind of like trash stuff. Back in the day, the builds were like missile pods and lasers. Because the lasers don't require ammo, so they save a whole bunch of money. And then you just gotta optimize your output, energy output, so you can just keep railing on shit nonstop.
Back in my day.
I mean, Armor Core, how old is Armor Core? Armor Core is like
I don't know.
20-year-old series?
I never was aware of Armor Core growing up, which is maybe a little bit sad.
I mean, it's a very specific game. Like, you kind of have to love building robots. You would have thought that shining a red laser pointer through a blue glass bottle would make a dot purple, but no, apparently not. Lasers are a little weird. Lasers are different.
Yeah, lasers are super weird.
And then glass is kind of interesting because it is a filter, so it's not additive. Can be, depending on what you're using, but there's some really cool stuff you can do with theater lighting based on how the gels you use. I did a whole thing of that one semester. That was really fun. But yeah, it's complicated. Light is complicated. It doesn't work the same way as pigments. Armor Core 1 came out in 1997. Nice. All I know is that Armor Core is the fact it came before Dark Souls. Yeah. Armor Core was the precursor to Dark Souls. 26-year-old series. There we go. And I remember when the first, like, the thing that always blew my mind for the Armor Core series was their, like, demo videos of just, like, here's the intro sequence, and you're like, oh my god, giant robots shooting bullets bigger than houses. Yes, please. And then Dark Souls was essentially like, what if we took that kind of energy, but put it on a zombie? And it's like, oh my god, yes, do that. Which is why Dark Souls has all of the, like, just bonkers stats. Because all of the Dark Souls characters are essentially giant robots.
Interesting.
You know the word taser is an acronym? Taser or laser? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me that they're both acronyms, but I did know that laser is an acronym. If you think Armor Core is crazy scale, you should look into Gundam. Armor Core is tiny compared to the mobile suits. For scale, like size-wise, I agree, yeah. Or are you talking about, like... Because Gundam doesn't have, like, the crazy customization that Armor Core does, which is what I love about it. PK. We'll do power stance for rugby here today. Right.
I'm not sure, 100% sure what I'm doing, but it feels very superhero proportion.
Ugh, I'm already getting a headache. That's not good.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do my best today. I'm going back in for eye surgery next week because of headaches. But hopefully that will be the last one we have to deal with. It is time. It is time. Hopefully things will be better.
Yeah, hopefully. Sucks when if a freelance artist can't use their eyes.
Yeah. I was talking to my doctor, and he's like, oh, yeah, you should be taking breaks every, like, 10 minutes. And I was like, that's not shit. That being said, commissions open. Can squeeze one in before next week. I have space for one commission. If people are interested, let me know. Otherwise, stickers are available. And hopefully we'll get a video out next week. This song is a banger. A blind artist can make poker. Yeah, I've actually been thinking about that a lot. It's just like, it's kind of scary when you're, like your eyes or your hands get hurt. man, what can I do if I can't do this anymore? But like at the same time, there's lots of ways to make art. So
Yeah.
even if my emotive art has to change, I will still keep making art. But I think I'm gonna recover. I think I'll be fine.
There's also apply for disability.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but like, I don't want to think about that. I just want to think about being healthy and making art. One open commission, you say? Indeed, one open commission. Eye patches are sexy. The amount of people that keep, like, talk to me about eye patches is pretty on point.
Man, am I drawing Spawn? Rook, am I drawing Spawn?
No. No, Spawn do this. He's got the hooks. He's got the giant cowl. I think that's what you're worried about.
Yep, the cowl. I was thinking of doing like a flying cape thing because I got kind of an angel fly pose going here.
I mean, then hey, it's kind of fun. Long question. Has anyone heard of the band The Jolly Roger? Nope.
No.
Short answer, no.
Yep.
A long shot question, sorry.
Yeah.
In the stained glass window.
Druid does not do music culture.
Looks more like it does look like a Mazo. Elliot, that's a good point. Do you know who a Mazo is? Asmo? If it's who I'm thinking of, it's a like an immortal robot in DC Comics.
Immortal android?
Yeah. His power is that he can steal all powers. It's like, that doesn't make any goddamn sense. Like, if you can do that, just make all robots do that. What are you talking? Make everybody Superman.
When everyone's super, no one will be.
Okay. I'm gonna roll some dice. I think I'm ready.
Okay.
I think I'm ready. Let me add not the poll. Syndrome. No, I keep clicking the wrong button. There we go. Okay. We have 24 today. That is impressive. $15. Medusa Alchemist Doctor wears a veil and blindfold to work on patients and nurse's outfit. Oh, okay. I don't think that's fan art. Maybe it is. I don't know. Try it out. We'll try it out. Mazo in the comics is a little inconsistent, with their most recent overpower feat being when an entire army was made to fight a zombie threat. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. I'm going to try to keep the pen relatively small. I forgot to do my pose art today.
Yep, same.
Medusa. Let's get a snake body going. Guess I don't need to do the whole body. don't know how to cork a bottle. Uncork a bottle or cork a bottle? Because cork a bottle, you just shove it in.
Phrasing.
I mean, it's called a bunghole for a reason.
I believe it's only called a bunghole on a barrel.
Right, but it's a cork. How do you put a cork in a bunghole? You just shove it in. Like there's no other. That's it. There's no finesse. There's no. You just force. You boonk. If the cork isn't dissolved, you can use a corkscrew like advertised. I mean, yeah. Yeah, is it stuck? Are you trying to remove a cork from a bottle? Have you tried Googling it? Would you like me to Google that for you? Yeah. Yeah, you just shove... I mean, corks stay in bottles because of pressure and friction.
Yeah.
That's it.
It is a friction fit.
But if you're... I mean, like... Depends on what you're doing. If you stick it in too far, then you have to use a corkscrew to get it out. What do nurse outfits look like?
Depends on what era we're talking about.
What would a Medusa nurse wear? If you're doing it industrially, you use a cork press, which is just a device that is a pneumatic device that pushes the cork in the bottle. If you're doing it by hand, you just shove it in. Got a trace pad and used it last night to try to get down more natural shadowing. And results are making me think I'm doing something wrong. Interesting. Like, trace pads are pretty cool. Did you use... Are you talking about a light table, or are you talking about, like, a ink tracing pad? Like, with, what the hell is that stuff called? Man, I feel old now. What the hell is that called?
Carbon paper?
Yeah, carbon paper. A light table. Okay, cool. Something I've noticed when I'm doing line art, where I'm drawing over my other layer. It's like you've done your first layer, now you're cleaning it up. I'll notice that I start getting confused about what is the inside and outside of my lines, because I do a lot of like scribbly, scratchy stuff, and then all of a sudden, when you're redoing your lines, you're like, wait, where does the shadow belong? And you get these like weird artifacts of like flatness. So what you might want to do when you're using a light table is basically go very light around your shadows. So you're basically going to create the cell shading without worrying about the shading at all first, and then go back and fill it in without the light table, so you're not getting washed out from the light. If anime's taught me anything about large snake women in nurse uniforms, it's all about being sexy. I mean, nurse uniforms are always about being sexy, because helping people is sexy. Like, that's just how it is. Yep. How many romance novels were written about people meeting nurses in the wars, right?
Far too many.
Far too many, yep.
Just like there are far too many romance novels about sexy misunderstood vampires.
The other thing with tracing, if you're looking at shading, is essentially like your lines is really what you should be focusing on with a light table. And then you can reapply your shadows to the new lines layers. Like, so you can change it up all you want there.
Yeah. Light table isn't really useful for somebody who does more of a painterly style like I do.
It could be. But you would do it differently. Like, you would go through, put the light table down, and then redraw your structure and then paint over it again. So like, they're different. I'll post them in the Discord. I tried some trace some wings as well, but the proportions were not the same. Oh, gotcha. So are you using the tracing table to just get the shapes? Or are you redoing your sketches? Yeah, these aren't bad. Are you looking specifically for critique on your shading, or are you looking for general critique? Said you feel like you're doing something wrong. What exactly would you like us to look at? Using for shape mostly. Yeah, so if you're using a light table for shape, and you want to use, like, if you're using references, like you have a photograph or something that you want to snatch a pose from, essentially what you want to do with your trace table, I'll go and kind of go off on a little bender here real quick.
Yeah.
A little bender, that's not right.
Nope. Tangent?
Tangent, yeah. A little aside, if you will. When you use your trace table, you're basically looking at something like this, right? Because you're looking at an image or a picture that's already filled in. And then you put it on your light table and it becomes something like that. It can be colorful and it can be more detailed. Doesn't matter. When you go for your second layer, your trace, you can just straight up get the outline, which is what a lot of people start doing. The problem with that is you're basically drawing a silhouette at that point, and that's going to look really weird without the proper shading, because you don't know exactly where these shapes are. Because then if you look at this without the lines, you're like, that's not what I was trying to draw, because really your shapes are inside of this box. And so you have to go back in and redefine those. So when you're doing a line layer over something that is, like a picture, not just another, like if you're drawing lines and you're just cleaning your lines up, that's one thing, right? If you're using a picture, what you really want to do is you want to go in and you want to use the light table to find those shapes, to find the shapes that you need to define, and maybe steal some of the silhouette. Like that can be useful. That can be really useful. But when you're going in there, you still need to define the shapes of the body. You need to define the shapes that you want to use, like find the twists in the body so you can follow those contours, and then go back in later and redraw your lines and get them the shape you want and change it up and make it work for yourself. And then do it again with the light table to clean up your lines. Digitally, you can do that real fast, which is basically what Druid does, but very quickly. You create your silhouette, and then you create your lines on top of it, and then you clean your lines up or remove them. And that's just kind of how it works. So digital art basically allows you to just always have a light table. Like that's the benefit of it. So.
Yeah. Then that's maybe part of why I had a fair amount of difficulty learning how to finagle my digital art or digital programs. I think a big part of it was because I was not familiar with the language or the and how to find what tool I needed to use. But another part of it, I think, was very much that I've never had access to or worked with a light table before. So bouncing around between different layers was pretty difficult for me, and that's kind of correct me if I'm wrong here, but because like I said, I don't have a lot of experience with it, but it kind of sounds like that's kind of how you gotta treat your if you're using a light table, like when you're drawing on top, try not to think of it as the same drawing being done again, but it's basically a whole new drawing, and you're just trying to pick out the important information in order to make the second drawing go faster.
Correct. Yeah, because if you're doing, there's two ways to use a light table. One is for capturing shape, and that's why I say like if you're using a photo reference, which doesn't always work because you have to have a really good photo reference, but it's hard to see it through it. Versus like updating lines, cleaning lines. Like that's two different ways to use a light table, and that's why there's the difference between a tracing table or a light table. Like they're used synonymously, but just in different industries they'll use them differently. I've used mostly traditional art mediums, so digital art has been hard for me to get used to. Yeah, it's just a matter of like trying to put it in a form that your brain is already used to, which can be hard. It doesn't have to feel the same. Yeah, it doesn't have to feel the same. Exactly. Like when I do digital artwork, I don't do a lot of traditional anymore. I do one sketch a day just to keep my brain working in that sense. Like I don't want to lose the muscle memory for it. And those are usually pretty not safe for work. And they're on the Discord. So if you're not a Discord member and you want to see some sweet boobies, there you go.
They're great.
But
not just because they're boobies.
Thank you.
They're well drawn.
The sketches I do essentially like they feel different than digital art, and that's why I try to do that, because I do so much digital art that I feel like if I don't do traditional art, it kind of like it feels weird. It takes me a little while to get back into it. That being said, both digital and traditional amplify my line, like my line confidence, my structure. So they both feed off of each other. So I wouldn't say it's like it's worth the while doing both. But you also don't need to do both. It's just a matter of what you want to work on.
Yeah. That kind of really is the entirety of art and developing as an artist, developing a style, is figuring out what exactly it is you want to work on.
Yeah. And wanting to find a good traditional brushes to help me get a bit of that feel. So Rebel 5 is a really good like paint sim. it essentially its whole functionality is making it feel like brushes. So I'd suggest looking at that. On top of that, I like the round brush. Like it feels like a mechanical pencil to me. So that's why I use it, because I enjoy using like mechanical pencils and wax pencils, which I get from the round brush. So every time I try to use a sketching pencil or a brush, I don't know. I'm never happy with the results. So find a digital brush that you like, that does what you want for it, and then don't try to get exactly analog, because it's going to be different. It's going to feel different.
Yeah. 100%. I draw mostly in Krita, and my favorite brush there feels just like drawing with New Pastel, which is my favorite sketching medium. And I ended up having to make kind of some of my own blender brushes in order to get like exactly what I was looking for. That may feel a little bit daunting, but building brushes in most
it's super easy.
Yeah, it's not as difficult as you might think.
It's more or less just time consuming.
Yeah.
I wish I could show you guys. Maybe I can. Let me try this. So Aggie, or Magma, is essentially tiny and stupid.
Yep.
So like this is very simple. This is very simple for where brushes come from. Like you have the brush size here that for me, I always have the pressure sensitivity on, but like barely. Like the density here, I always have the density turned down, and then maximum opacity. These two things are like interchangeable. So there's really only like minimum size, ignore that. Stabilizer, I have a little bit on here that gives you a smoother line. If you turn that up or down, you can get like a lot of lag and get really smooth lines. Like this is a big thing that people like. Cat, get the hell out of here. Well, My computer just got reset. Hold on a second. Yeah, there's a lot of little things. So if I don't have the stabilizer on at all, it gets choppy, and if it's too high up, it lags. Like it feels like, because it's giving you like lead time. So it's a lot of just fiddling. You just fiddle with a brush. Once you have a shape you like, you just fiddle with it until it gets to a point, and then as soon as you're like, man, I love this, save it. Like that's the biggest mistake I think people make with digital, is they don't save their brushes. They don't save out their presets, and then they lose it, and then they have to spend another week trying to figure out
what exactly they did,
yeah,
and how to recreate it. Yeah.
Yep. And so I have a pretty standard system, but it's different in each program. So you always kind of have to get the feel for it again.
And just practicing makes you faster with it.
Yeah. Gamma, welcome in. I've done stuff where I can draw over like a literal skeleton and feels more successful, but it's also my first time using the tool. Yeah. And so like that's a good thing. I remember I've done that as well. Like if you want to draw a rib cage or something, like those are very minute, but they also have very defined lines, right? Because you're drawing the shape curves and you see how they overlap. So that can be a really good use for a light table. What is this? What is this layer? Okay, delete that. What is this layer? That's the one I want. There we go.
I think I'm gonna forget the cape, and I'm just gonna make this nameless superhero whatever and be done with it.
What you gonna do? The downside to the light table is that you can, and I will say this very respectfully, so don't think I'm trashing on you. You can pick up very bad habits of tracing, which sounds really stupid because the light table is a tracing tool. Like that's what it's for. So when you are, that's why I was saying, like when you're looking at forms and shapes, do 2 or 3 sketches with it. Like don't just assume you're going to get the first one perfect. Draw something that is the shapes, so you know the shape values, and that will start putting those shape values in your head. Draw the lines that so you can see like contours and see like where your chest and your face is facing, right? Like learn those, learn the basic shapes that you're drawing before you try to do your line layer again. And it might take you 2 or 3 times. But then once you start having those in your head, then when you go to actually trace, what you're doing is you're basically saying like, okay, I need these lines here, but they're your lines, like you know where they go. So really forgot about the viewer suggestion. Yeah, you're still welcome to suggest one if you want. I'll put it on the list. We'll go from there. Can people see what I'm drawing? I can't tell. It's a little light just because my pencil is so small. So I might have to go a little darker. I'm also bad about doing like 4 sketches before doing the line work. Yeah, see, that's really good. Like it's good to do that kind of stuff. That's the thing you have to worry about with tracing, because like tracing is really like using the light table is really good for animators because they need to be able to see what the last frame was, and it's really good when you're doing like production art because you need something to be exact, right? It's less about your artistic interpretation of something, and it's like I need to copy this onto my page. Like that's what those light tables are really good for. So they can be really great because they can let you do basically they can let you trace things in traditional medium, and you just need to make sure that you're not using it as a crutch. You're using it as a tool. So just something to be wary of. Onion skin is a lifesaver. Yeah, onion skinning is required for animation, I think. I feel like I might be taking too long on this piece. I might need to speed it up. But we'll find out. This is very purple. I might need to make it a little darker. Maybe a little more blue. That's better. She needs a little hat. Do nurses still wear the little hat? I don't think they do.
No, I don't think so. I think they are supposed to have their hair restrained in some way, just like food service industry, but I don't think there's a specific. More, yeah, mandated hat type.
Maybe a little uwu snake. Oops. I think her eye and face shading was on a different layer. Yeah.
That'll happen when you stop to give a lesson.
Yeah. Human fighter cleric with brass knuckles. Logic Baron has tattoos.
All right, I'm ready to roll.
Your dad had the word Joker tattooed on his chest? Is he a mafioso? 24. Rerolling for 24.
Right. 9.
Clockwork Warforged. Wait. Chronology Wizard. His clock hands is his eyes. What? Clockwork Warforged Chronology Wizard has clock hands in his eyes. There we go. I read it that time. Didn't you do something similar last week? Maybe not.
Kind of. There was a
I remember
Minotaur time wizard that
That's
had a pocket watch earring.
Okay. I remember we had a I was trying to figure out what the hell what was it? Something about the Chronomancer. I couldn't remember. Doesn't matter. Okay, but it wasn't that one. So that's the one we did before. I tried to make a what are they called? What is the new Pathfinder class? Exemplar.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to use Demiplane, and it was just god awful. I gave up. So I'll have to use Foundry once I get it installed. I think I got it installed now. I just got to go look at it. That was a gangster. Has a bunch of tattoos. Nice. Online digital art is all about layered cake. Yeah. Yep. Never really knew what they were wearing. I just knew that they had a whole bunch as sleeve on his shoulder. Nice. I have designed three or four tattoos now for people. Still don't have any myself. Not my thing.
Yeah,
I love it.
I think we've had the.
Yeah.
I think we've had this conversation before. I also I love body art, but I'm terrified that I would get bored of anything, of any permanent ink real fast. Especially if I designed it myself. I'd be like, I could do better than that.
It also feels really weird asking someone else to tattoo something I drew on myself.
Yeah.
So I think if I got a tattoo, someone else would have to do it. I'm just kind of a weird basic dude. Like, I like very utilitarian things, and tattoos are extravagant. So I could see getting a tattoo that is like a functional thing, like Adam Savage's measuring tape. I really like that. Or like a star chart or an exorcism spell. Something like that would make sense. I could do those things. But
I had a friend in high school, and she and her husband both did like very manual labor sort of jobs. So they had their wedding rings tattooed on.
Yep.
So that they wouldn't ever have to worry about losing a finger because of their relationship.
I know someone that has two of those. So, take that however you want.
Yep.
And honestly, these days you can get things removed pretty easily. So.
Because the lasers.
Lasers are pretty cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm about done with this one. I don't know if I want to do the color swatching. Maybe I'll work on the inside this time. So like around here. Try to make these snakes pop out a little bit more. Trying to use this as an excuse to get better with my lighting. Always improve. Always improving. The jongleur. I just said jester and I was thinking about something else. Lunch and enjoying the art. Let's go. Hello, Burning. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying your lunch. Chess piece, say a tower-shaped one. I mean, I don't need to remember my own name. It would be pretty cool to have a rook. I do like those. So if I'm going in for eye surgery next week, that means I need to go buy a whole bunch of wood this week and get all my shit built before I can't lift stuff again.
Yeah, that would probably be smart.
But my truck is garbage, so I might need to borrow somebody else's truck. Ugh, which means I have to figure that out too. My life is in a weird flux right now. It's always strange. It's never normal and easy, is it?
No. Never.
Oh, we are also doing the otter side quest today. Do I have that up? Nope, I still have it on raccoons. Let me fix that. The pretzel banner is also not working. So that's cool. Great. Thank you. That's exactly what I wanted. Nope. Nope. That there. Whoop. Sorry about that, everybody. I'm a professional. I know what I'm doing.
Good, because I don't.
It's Otter month. It's Sept Otter. Odd-tember. So if you suggest if you become a member or super chat, I will draw you an otter. That's my jam. Apparently you can gift memberships, YouTube memberships. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, very, very slowly YouTube is
Catching up.
implementing stuff Twitch has had since the beginning.
Okay, I think I'm done with this one. Nurse Medusa. What happens if I put green in here? I don't know how this works with the paper. You've been doing some pretty good color.
Yeah, with green though, I have had to go way on the yellow end of the spectrum to the point where if I want a green color that works, I basically have to do dark yellow, not green.
Gotcha. Oops. Yeah, we'll go with that. Could please believe it or not. I thought there was a frog stream. Oh, is it frogs? Is that what I said?
Is it? I don't know.
Oh, let me look. Let me look. I might have said frogs because I did otters last month.
Yeah, I thought we were revisiting them for the otter stickers.
That was my original thought, but since we did it last week, oh, and I wanted to wait till October so we could do Ottertober.
Right.
Optional side quest. Yep, Frog-tember. I did say Frog-tember. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me.
Frog-tember.
Frog-tember.
Second lot, let's not go to the internet. This is a silly place.
Okay, let's roll some dice. Doop-a-doo. What color did we get for the chat here? Red? All right, we can do some red. 17. I'm rolling real high today. Shifter Barbarian. Wear heritage from a honey badger. All right.
Badgers, 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 badgers.
Mushrooms, mushrooms. Red. Oh, badger, 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 badger. I was thinking about making one of those. Rugbies.
Just gonna start using rugby to resurrect ancient memes.
Yeah. That could be my whole claim to fame.
It could be.
I'm almost to 10,000 subscribers, and I am still just an unknown YouTuber. So, which makes me feel really weird. What am I doing? What am I doing? Oh, colors. Just realized I'm covering up your art. Let me do that.
That's okay.
What do badger look like? How do badger do?
It's basically a skunk, but with the stripes on the face instead of the body. And no tail.
Yeah, badgers don't have tails, do they? They have like butt flaps.
Yep.
Just big skunks.
Big angry skunks.
I started watching the second season of Wheel of Time. I think it's much better than the first. But then I realized that only 3 episodes have been released so far, and that made me very sad. So, I'm going to have to wait. We have some flexibility on this. We can do whatever we want. For a badger. Where badger? It's a blank check.
Yeah.
Somebody post pictures of badgers in the Discord. I've just made a mole. I made a giant mole man. Take it back. I've made a frog. Giant buff frog.
Hey, there's a North American badger.
Just sort of super chat for Jeremiah was a bullfrog fighter. It's already half done. Gotta get out there. Oh, that song's gonna be stuck in my head all day now.
Badgers are so flat.
Mm-hmm. It looks like they all got stepped on by cows because they can be stepped on by cows. They come pre-stepped on.
And then European silver badgers are much cuter than North American ones.
That's right, honey badgers are like...
Oh.
They have the thing on top,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. They got the Donald Trump cut.
Oh my god, I was playing Baldur's Gate last night, and I think we did something wrong because we fought our way into Baldur's Gate. So I think that we fucked something up. And I'm proud to say that my team is very OP and we did fine. Baldur's Gate ain't got nothing on us. But we got it, and finally I met a kobold who was a kobold vendor at one of the shops nearby. And I like the way they portray kobolds. It was really funny. What's his name? His name's like Pouches or Pockets or something. It was pretty funny. Wiener dogs are bred to hunt these. Not these.
No, wiener dogs are bred to hunt European badgers.
Yeah, European badgers and marmots, I think, right?
I think so.
Little weasels. They're there for the little weasels.
Yeah.
The honey badgers and North American badgers will kill cows. Like, they are a problem.
Hey, if you want a dog to hunt an American badger,
I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. I was gonna say you need a Hungarian wolfhound, except those things are so tall, the badger is still gonna kill it because it's gonna go right for its jugular.
Or his testicles. That's another thing. Honey badgers too. They go for the testicles. Honey badgers are African? I don't think they're not in the United States, I don't think.
No. North American badgers are basically slightly smaller wolverines.
Yeah. We have wolverines though too, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
I don't think wolverines
range, but not territory.
Yeah, I was gonna say wolverines won't kill cows, I don't think though. But they can be dangerous to people because they don't want you around.
Okay.
Badgers, on the other hand, don't want to get stepped on, so they kill everything. If I remember correctly, badger skin is able to withstand machete slashes, shots, and I think even fire. The honey badgers ones, yeah, for sure. Their skin density is bonkers for how big they are, and they're very flat. Like that was the other thing we were talking about. So like, they can take quite a bit of walloping. Half-elf fighter alchemist with a crossbow and a psychic amulet. Didn't we draw that last week? It's on the list. I drew an elf alchemist last week, I think. Or maybe I drew an elf psychic. I think I drew an elf psychic. I don't think I drew an alchemist, so it's probably a different one. I'll look.
Oh no, everything's finally starting to run together.
It's like I've drawn 1,000 half-elf fighters. Some for my own personal use and others for the stream. I play a lot of elves. I think I did a psychic. Did you request a psychic fighter elf last time? Because I drew that. I think I drew that. This is the problem with me not putting the names on the requests. Maybe I need to start doing that. No, it's okay. I mean, you can put it on the list again. It's already on there. The dice gods decide, you know. I need to request a shard mind one of these weeks. I've drawn a few of those.
Yeah. It's been a while, but we have.
Yeah, we had one, like, people went a little shard mind crazy for a little while. I never figured out why. I don't know if somebody, like, released a video for it or what, but people, yeah. We do a bunch of them for a while.
There was a couple months where there was at least one shard mind request every
Never understood.
Every time we drew, yeah.
Gotta watch out for those honey badgers and llamas. They go right for the testicles every time.
Yep. Some of the few species who figured out how to genetically program into their offspring what the most vulnerable part of any male mammal is.
Go for the dangly bits.
It's the weak point.
Play Legend of Zelda and the big boss you're fighting just has giant glowing testicles. It's like, hold on a minute. What's happening here?
Hey, Legend of Zelda has never been as PG as everybody has pretended it is.
Yeah, I was reading an article this weekend about like if they make a movie, it should really be like a dark horror. And it's like, yeah, I can get behind that.
Yep.
An interesting thought.
And I've had arguments with people about how like, well, I mean, no, it's really just like Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess that are dark horror. And I'm like, you need to revisit Ocarina of Time.
So there is something to be said about that because of like the tone of the games. You have the dark world where I was talking to my friend about this weekend because we went back and we rebeat Ocarina or Oracle of Seasons, and then we started playing Link to the Past. In the timeline, like the official Nintendo timeline, it goes like Skyward Sword first.
Yes.
And then I think Minish Cap and like a few of the Game Boy ones, and then Ocarina of Time, and then Ocarina of Time breaks into the Dark Realm where Link dies. Like just straight up dies. And then one where he survives as Kid Link, and that goes to Majora's Mask. And then one where he goes on as adult Link. And it's really interesting when you look at those, because the one where he becomes an adult Link, like they're more whimsical and kind of more fun. Kid Link ones get a little weird. And then the Dark Realm ones where Ganon wins, but then basically just breaks everything. It's real dark. Like, it's real dark. The world is full of monsters and horrible things, so. Monster of the Week did a video on shard mines. Okay, cool. 2 years ago, though? Yeah, I mean, that might have been the time. That's probably what it was. I remember the badger named Stoffel, who would constantly find new ways to escape their enclosures to the zoo and live. And they lived, and people got really annoyed and kept doing it. Funny. Kind of more like flat out mythology with which can include dark imagery and stuff, but it isn't the point. Yeah, like it's not supposed to be a horror game, right? It's just not. It's supposed to be a game about exploration and kind of overcoming the darkness. So,
and I think it succeeds at that, but like you can't get over you can't just ignore the fact that there are some serious horror elements in there, like the well in Kakariko Village, like the fact that
the Gibdos
Link skips 7 years and the entire world is a post-apocalyptic wasteland. People get turned into skeletons, undead skeletons, if they walk into this forest. And if children go into this forest, then they become lost souls, literally skull kids.
Yeah.
Like,
it's dark.
It's dark. Yeah.
It's dark, but presented in a way that is a little subtle, which is fine.
I never claimed it wasn't. Yeah, I never claimed it wasn't horror, or that it was exclusively horror. I just said it's not PG. It's not as PG as people.
Okay.
Then to
if we want to be precise, it is PG. Like they keep it tame enough for the audience, but the subtext is very dark. I think that's a better way to say it. Then
that's okay. That's fair.
Yeah,
I'll agree with that.
Yeah. I I would say overcoming the darkest point. Yeah, yeah. I think they do a really good job of creating this dark world that you have to that you get thrown into. Link to the Past was really funny. Because I haven't played it in forever. I don't know if I ever actually beat it before. And so when we sat down to play it, and all of a sudden, like, you get sent to the dark world, and there's just this guy running around kicking this. He's like, I got turned into a ball. And the other guy just keeps kicking him around. It's like, should we stop this? And Link's like, nah, I got shit to do. And he just leaves. It's like, Kids getting turned into stone and shit. And it's like, that seems really bad. But everyone's just like, yeah.
It's just daily life here.
Yep.
Nobody really cares.
I made a badger barbarian, not a shifter. How do I make him more? Give him boots? Badgers don't wear boots, so this will make it look more like a person. Right? I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
I just became extremely tempted to, instead of doing clock hands in the eyes like I was told to do a digital clock readout.
That could be funny. That could be really funny. It's got the countdown timer. Oof, I might need to take a quick break. My eyeballs are bugging me.
Do what you need. Take care of yourself.
Yep. After this one, I'll probably go get a drink and just take a minute or two to walk around. It's been a long, weird year dealing with my stuff. God, I think it's only been a year. Just needs moblin tattoos. We could do some tattoos. That could be fun. You were just discussing games sharing other genres. I'd agree that Elden Ring is a horror game. Oh, absolutely. Elden Ring is 100% a horror game. I think another way to look at that is there is mechanical, like game types, and then there is game theming. And a lot of the times they stick pretty hard to it. So like there are a handful of games that are like first-person shooter horror games. But when you say horror games, you usually think of things that are more like Resident Evil or Silent Hill, which are more third-person. Actually, that's not true anymore. Like, there's a lot of first-person kind of puzzle games, I guess. But like the indie horror games right now are kind of self-contained, small shot games, like little quick things. Then maybe those are more like jump scare games, but it's kind of hard to start defining things like that, right? Like you really have to be more and more specific unless something fits very tightly into a genre.
Yeah, I agree. We've got so much overlap in pretty much everything nowadays, which
is good. I mean, like I think that's good because then you don't have to, like when you're making a game, it doesn't have to be exactly like something else. Dead Space, Dead Space is great. Dead Space is a beautiful horror game. I feel like I'm making this more and more a barbarian and less a shifter. What makes a shifter a shifter? It should have just been a dude with badger features, maybe? Is that what we were talking about? Should I give him a mustache? People say shift, I automatically think of like a were badger. But yeah, could have looked at it differently.
Badger with a mustache. I think yes. So that.
We'll give it a try. A little light music would be great. Is the music not playing? The music's playing. Is it too quiet? I'm drawing very small. I'm sorry. I just realized how little of the page I'm actually using. Boop. Tis I, Timothy the Badger. Elden Ring isn't because of a body horror or hardiness. Hardness? Seems thematically horrifying. I mean, yes, for all of those things. Yeah, I wouldn't consider the hardness of the game a horror game. Like, that's not. I don't think that's part of it. Like, that's where you really have to look at genre and mechanics and play style and stuff. Yeah, I don't think I've ever played a game that's been difficult because it's a horror game. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's just separate. I think that's a separate thing.
I agree. I don't think Souls-like games have the Souls-like tag because they're horror games. I think,
yeah,
although many of them are, I think it's specifically because of how unforgiving the mechanics are.
Yeah, if you said to me this is a Souls-like game, I would think about mechanics, not the like convoluted storyline. Like, right? Yeah. It's just like that's separate.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you really have to argue that Elden Ring is a horror game. Like it is. I think it's an RPG. It's an RPG and it's a Souls-like game, set in a horror genre, like or in a horror environment. Because the world
very
post-apocalyptic
clearly horror. Yeah, dark and gritty, post-apocalyptic, and definitely horror. Lots of body horror.
Lots of body horror. Yeah. Definitely has that whole body horror feel to it. But they also like to include a little bit of eldritch horror, which is kind of cool.
Yep. Do you think no, this is a bad question because it's comparative. Do you would you say that I'm asking specifically because I have not played these games, so I'm not expecting like a comprehensive answer. Is Bloodborne more eldritch horror?
Yes.
Or less?
Yeah. So Bloodborne, yes, and I'll tell you, and I think the reason why is because the Bloodborne is more related to their gods. Like the people are actively talking to them, which makes it a little more eldritch horror in my mind, because like people are, whereas the Dark Souls world, the gods are dead is usually how it works. Elden Ring is kind of a middle ground, I think, but
sure.
But like in Dark Souls, like there is nothing going to wake up and consume the world. It's just dying. It's already dying. It's already happened. With Bloodborne, all of that is kind of active in the scenes. Like there are great gods, great old ones, kind of warping the world around you. So. Yeah, I would say that's kind of my reasoning, though.
Okay.
So, an Asmar cleric paladin basically is a demigod if they get their powers from worshipping an aspect. Basically a demigod. Yes, I mean that's kind of what the exemplar is doing. So instead of worshipping a specific deity and that deity granting you boons, you are given the boons because you are touched by that god. Like you just are that god. You're the reincarnation or a embodiment of it. That's how the exemplar works. But an Aasimar cleric paladin being a demigod could be a lot of fun. And then I wouldn't make you worship a deity. I think you definitely just like, as long as you have your edicts of like what you do, you just gain that power because of your dedication, right? I think that's fun. A fun way to do it. The dark fairy tales have always some element of horror. Yeah, like horror is encompassing, right? Like it's supposed to elicit a feeling, whereas alternatively, I think what we're talking about now is thematic genres. So dark fairy tales can be horror. They can be what's the other word? Not mentoring, but fables. Fables are this. Meant to teach you something, right?
Yeah, they're
horror's a good way to do that. I'm done.
Moralizing, moral. Yeah.
I don't know the word. There's a word for it. There's a specific word for it. That sounds moralizing. Sounds closer, but still not quite the right word. Let's go to the next one. A Galoma Zealot Barbarian. Zealot Barbarian. What does a Zealot Barbarian do? Oh, Garoon. Let's draw some Garoon. Do that.
I don't know what a Zealot Barbarian does. Is a Zealot Barbarian a 2E thing?
No, I'm pretty sure it's 5e.
Okay. I have not looked at the 2E Barbarian shit, like, at all. Which I really probably should have, especially considering Burning plays a Barbarian. And Rokar is very strong.
Rookzer is really strong. We need to get Corvus in here. Look up the Zealot Barbarian. I'll look it up. Zealot. I was gonna go de-stress my eyeball real quick.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get a drink.
I can look up the Zealot Barbarian if you want.
I got it.
If you want to look away from your screen for 60 seconds.
Divine Fury, Warrior of the Gods, Fantastic Focus, Rage Beyond Death. When you hit 0 hit points, you do not become unconscious. You still do saving throws and suffer normal effects, but you are conscious the whole time. That's pretty great. Ah, okay. You're a barbarian paladin is essentially what you're doing. That makes sense. Let me go get a drink real quick, and I'll be right back, everybody. Hang tight.
Every time I draw a Warforged or anything mechanical, really, an android, I always think to myself, man, it's a good thing this thing isn't real, because the way I designed it would make it just the worst thing in the world to have to keep clean.
Huh. Bloodborne also deals with secret knowledge and layers of mystery, where both Dark Souls and Elden Ring are relatively straightforward. They're not known for their well-paced storylines, where I think Bloodborne is much better at it. I agree with that.
And yeah, the HB. I don't know how you would clean this Warforged. And burning, I think people who design mechanical bits and pieces do take that into consideration, and specifically choose to make it harder to clean, or specifically choose not to worry about making it easy to clean. It's probably more like it, specifically so that you have to buy, like it makes it easier for you to buy the next thing.
I think burning, because I know things about burning, is probably the most qualified to complain about that. Of anybody I know.
That's fair.
It's like, do you use oil, water, just simple wraps? What is it? I mean, maybe hot oil baths, sonic vibrations.
Yeah.
I just noticed something that I'm going to complain about.
Okay.
Fanatical focus is essentially indomitable. The level 9 warrior feature, but you get it at level 6 as the zealot barbarian, and you can use it once per age. So indomitable is stupid. You should get it at level 5 as a fighter. You should get another use of it at level 9. I don't understand. I don't understand why it exists the way it exists. All right, that was my gripe.
That's fair.
All right, green.
I think I'm done with it. Yeah, I think I'm done with this.
Okay.
D20 now?
Yeah, that's good enough.
15.
Green plasmoid dampier with red nerves in their body. Good luck with that.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Do you want to reroll?
No, I'll do it.
Okay.
It's just 2 races instead of a race and a class.
Yep. Vampire is not a class. Nor is ooze. And also, if you put red lines in a green monster, they're not going to show up.
Yeah, true. Maybe they'll be black. Maybe they'll read as black or darker green.
Yeah.
Maybe if there's veins really close to the surface, but
Yeah, good. I would probably just do it more like they're glowing on the outside. But there's a lot there. Or maybe just don't fill in the green. Maybe it's a really, really light green. Who knows?
I'll play with it. We'll see.
Some of these suggestions are absolutely bonkers. Yeah. Pat, you need to calm the shit down. I'm on to you. He's throwing a fit. We don't blame you for re-rolling. In the game,
I'm gonna do it.
Bravely default, vampire is a class, and you can swap it out. In and out. Yeah, I think I'll be a vampire today.
Yeah, but the prompt was specifically Dampier, which is a half vampire or vampire child in the D&D world specifically. So we're not talking about Bravely Default, are we?
I don't like that you said vampire child. That is a different meaning than like vampire.
Child of a vampire.
Yeah, child. Yeah. That's very different.
Well, in my mind. Fair.
There was some weird old anime where the main, I don't know if it was the antagonist or protagonist, like queen vampire looked like a 5-year-old. I'm like, this is weird. It's weird and I don't like it. I'm 1,000,000 years old. It's like, okay, maybe, I don't know, buy a hat or something.
How did my hardness get so low? Giggity. Ah, I see you're going for the Beta Ray Bill approach.
Always. Skeletal Goloma is the new hot shit. I need to play some Final Fantasy this month. Get me that sweet fat cat parasol. I don't know what I'm doing with my life right now.
As long as you're enjoying it.
After this drawing, you may be the artist of the most Goloma art. This could be true. This could be the case. I should post all of it online so that people have to see my art. What's a Goloma? You're the horse guy! It's like, oh no. What have I done? Still don't fully understand why they have the weird Pokemon fin hood thing.
Yeah, me neither, honestly. If I were drawing it, I would leave that out.
This is good. I haven't touched Final Fantasy since I got Baldur's Gate 3. That's fair. I really hate that, but I'm 1,000, but I look like I'm 5. Yeah, it's just lame. They're just short at that point. Yeah, exactly.
I'm so old. When I was born, adults were supposed to be this tall.
Yeah. The only clothes I can buy is for tiny toddlers. It's like, just make clothes? Like,
I don't think you've wasted the billion years you've been alive, haven't you?
Yeah. Go to the Walmart and buy me some new tiny shorts, please. Like, if you're the queen of a vampire nation and your royal tailor makes you like a baby bib, just kill them. Just throw them in a dungeon. You dare disrespect me? Make me a goddamn gown.
No, you don't understand, my liege. This is what pretty princesses are wearing these days.
The dino looks a bit like Monty from FNAF. I don't know which one is Monty, and it's supposed to be a horse.
Yeah, jeez.
Goloma are really weird.
Goloma are really, really weird.
Which one is Monty? At this point, they could wear stilts and still be terrifying. I mean, yeah. If someone that looks like a 5-year-old but is wearing a suit and talks like they're 1,000 years old, it's terrifying. Like, size is not everything. They did that with Pura and Breath of the Wild too. Like, I'm super old, but I turned myself into a child. It's like, oh, that's weird. But like, her looking like a child and then her looking like an adult are very different. And then her twin sister or whatever, who is the original age, looks like she does as a child, but just wrinkly. And it's like, okay, okay, Nintendo. Like, it's like,
thanks for this.
your head starts the shape of a watermelon, and then you turn into a normal person in your 20s, and then you just slowly revert back to watermelon. It's like, I don't know how this happens, but Hylian skulls vary dramatically, apparently. I mean, to be fair though, like the king looks like this, where his legs are like 10% of his body. So,
yep.
Overall, who knows what's happening? Who knows what's happening?
The king, I think, is probably part Zora.
Maybe. And the Gorons are kind of like that too. I mean that's just their designs aesthetic.
Yeah.
Everybody except Link is fucking weird. Tiny legs.
Link is also a little bit weird.
Yeah. Made like a child, the book on advanced astrophysics and quantum mechanics is up to no good. Yeah, that's probably true. I like that movie. What are you doing? I'm getting my gun back. Eat me! Playing Baldur's Gate with one of my friends, and he's like, what's the maximum AC I can get? I'm like, I think it's like natively, I think you can get like 30-ish. 30-ish sounds reasonable. And you'll be pretty much damn near untouchable. And then I looked online and they're like 46, and I was like, oh my god, how do you get 46 AC? You really have to push some buttons to make it happen, but it's been bananas. People have gotten really mad that they changed Pura in the new game, and the argument was not very good. Yeah, I could see that. It's weird. I don't like it when they do it. Old people should just be old. It's fine. And then there's the opposite thing where like people are mad that what's her name? Shadowheart like has some wrinkles. And there's like a very small group of people who are just like, we have to fix this. It's like, you don't. Like, I don't know what's wrong with
you can if you want to, but like, calm down.
Yeah. I saw a lot of people like the new Pura. Yeah, I like her too. I think she's awesome now. I think she's a different part of Twitter. Probably.
There we go. Floating fake vampire teeth in a slime head. Automatically half vampire ooze. How's that?
Yeah, I don't know how you're supposed to do that, so good job. I'm not sure what I would have done there. Here's Shadowheart, and I think of Frank, the American Ninja. Mariachi with the machine gun hidden in his hat. I don't know what that's from. There are barely noticeable wrinkles in Shadowheart, I think, and I had to stop and think when you said it because I don't think of her as having them. Yeah, basically what they did when they made her character is they put her age slider to like 40. Like, it's very not noticeable.
And everybody flipped their shit about it?
No, like 30 people flipped their shit about it.
Okay.
Somebody created a mod to basically turn down that shader, the wrinkle shader, and it had been downloaded like 30 times. And somebody on Twitter found it and put up a thing of like, how come the world is so stupid and people have to like blah blah, people are disgusting. It's like, I mean, whatever. It's stupid, but it was like 30 people. Now I'm betting a whole bunch of people did it just to, see what it is. So like the negative press probably made it more popular than it even needed to become. But from the new world, so yeah, it was one of those things where like the negative press is still press, or negative attention is still attention. So
Right.
So more people freaked out about it than people that were doing it. So it doesn't matter. But yeah. If that's where you have to like, if that's the hill you've decided to die on, where you're not allowed to mess with people's character models, like, I mean, how long did it take people to make a nude model for Resident Evil? Like 2 days. I think it actually came out before the game did. I remember I read an article about that.
For Lady Dimitrescu.
No, the new game. The new game.
Oh.
Because it uses the same engine, so the people that did the nude mods for the old game just ported it over for the the Resident Evil 4 remake. So all the modding community was just like, hell yeah. And it was like, okay, that was fast. That was really fast, guys. Like, yeah, it's great. I surprisingly don't do a lot of modding. I think the only one I've really done was the multiplayer mod for Elden Ring. But it was surprisingly simple to do, so that's kind of cool. Maybe I'll start looking at that. Maybe we should start making like Rookzer0 mods for games. We play as Rugby.
Put Rugby as a protagonist and everything.
It's a Bonker Games. You have a pink vampire launch. Luchador? Okay. And he's got to interview Professor Lovecraft and save Al Capone from zombies. That sounds a little bonkers. How does a vampire ooze work? I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. Technically all oozes are vampires, but if that's true, all people are vampires. So, does the ooze only feed on blood? At the end of the day, we're all essentially oozes because we can all... Can I get existential for like half a second?
Sure.
If you try hard enough, everybody can breathe acid. The human body basically eats and destroys everything with acid. And if you projectile vomit on somebody, you have a dragon's breath attack. Yeah.
Can I add to that?
Go for it. Eating things alive is terrifying, is what I was going for.
Everything that lives eats death and shit.
Yep. Well, you don't eat shit, you make shit.
Alcohol is shit.
Okay, that's fair. I'll concede that point.
Honey is bee backwash.
That's barf, but yeah.
Everything that everybody eats is death and or shit.
Wasps fucking your fig Newtons.
Oh yeah, I do not want to get into fruit.
The world is a vampire? Yep. I actually don't know the next line of that song. Sent to change something, and I don't know what it is. Is that to drain? Points for the Smashing Pumpkins reference, but I'm not a Smashing Pumpkins fan. Not that I don't like them, I just never listened to them. What about plant and algae and get the energy from the sun? Yep, there you go. We found the exemption from your absolutes. Is sunlight cosmic shit? I don't know. That feels like a stretch to me. Plants have it
See,
made.
now the premise of that suggests that that the only input that algae require in order to produce energy is sunlight, and that's just not the case.
It's the other component.
Minerals, nutrients, waste from waste in the water. They need nitrogen.
They do need nitrogen, yeah.
They need oxygen. They need.
But nitrogen was around before.
Yeah,
that gets into the complexity of like the chicken and egg thing, right? Like,
absolutely.
Because we're at an equilibrium now where like larger organisms create food so that lower organisms can flourish more than they would have naturally.
Correct.
So, yeah, we're kind of in a cycle of entropy and death. That's fine.
Yeah. And that's where it gets real existential.
Light is a sun byproduct of fusion, I suppose so.
Anyway, but like, until somebody figures out otherwise, the sun is in and of itself not a living thing, and so therefore you can't say that consuming sunlight is either death or shit. I'm just saying that when we're talking about algae and cyanobacteria and other things, most of the nutrients they get outside of the input of the energy from the sun, most of that still comes from dead things or the shit of other things. There are some very few lichens that only need infrared light, which is to say heat, and the minerals from rocks that they consume. But that is a very, very, very small group of things, and they are barely considered alive.
Don't eat shit, people. I feel like that. I feel like that description was a little needed clarification.
Fair.
Just because a lot of things eat shit doesn't mean that shit is something people should eat.
It depends on the form that it takes, right?
I mean, I'm trying to think of things that people should eat. This shit.
Cheese.
That's not shit. Cheese is not shit.
Cheese is full of bacteria shit.
No, they shit out carbon dioxide.
They shit out lots of stuff.
You're eating proteins. You're eating cow proteins.
You're eating milk protein that is coagulated with an acid that is a byproduct of usually, let's see, renin, which is the lining of the intestines of sheep, or sometimes can be produced via specific plants or chemical processes.
Proteins, not shit. You're right that alcohol is shit. I get that. I get where you're going for that. This is shit. Bacteria go nom 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 and eat sugar. And alcohol is the byproduct? Is that right?
Yeast.
Yeast is a yeast? Okay.
No, yeast, not bacteria.
Yeast is a
more
mold?
closely related to fungi. Yeah.
Okay.
It is. Yeasts have changed classifications so many times in the last 10 years. I'm not actually sure what they are classified as anymore.
Extremophiles on the Ocean Vents should be the name of your first album. Could be, yeah. Hydrothermal vent algae. Hold on, is that Beta Ray Bill? Pretty close. Like, pretty close, too. It's like if Beta Ray Bill... Go watch my video on Galomas. I was about to make a joke from the video. Nobody commented on my Medusa insert there. I thought that was pretty funny. Oh well.
There was so much going on in that video. It was honestly hard to pick one thing to comment on.
Beta Ray Bill and Medusa had a baby. Galoma.
It is a pretty cool video, and it's a pretty cool race, species, heritage, if we're talking the Pathfinder.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I was gonna try to do a whole thing here, but I think I'm just gonna call it on this one. I need to make him look more like a barbarian. But I want to make him look like a paladin barbarian. So shoulder pads? Like just shoulder pads? I don't know. Maybe I should draw the muscles. I'll draw the muscles. You gotta know he's shirtless or he's not a barbarian, you know?
Exactly.
Yeast is currently classified as a type of fungus. Okay. Thank you, Corvus.
Okay.
Medusa or Gorgons are just awesome to use in any concept. Seriously, we should get more content like that canned project of James Baxter with Medusa. I don't know what that one is.
Me neither.
On this edition, referring to 20-year-old video games. Wait, what? You didn't look like someone from He-Man? Yeah. Give me a bit like, look, Melvin hair. Some Medusa healer got drawn. Looking good. Yeah, good. I'm glad you like it. He-Man. Horseman. Man. You can basically just yell anything you want. That's not how anything works. I think the problem is I've drawn the sword coming from the wrong angle. Like he's pushing it out too far. Really, the sword would be coming from over here and coming this way, towards the camera. Not away from the camera. Poop. Oh yeah, James Baxter. That's what I was thinking too. James Baxter made a concept for Medusa movie. Yeah, but who's James Baxter? I don't know James Baxter.
I only know James Baxter's the horse from
James Baxter. James Baxter. Yeah, that's all I know.
I'm going to pull a Rook and make these claws much darker than everything else, so I don't have to worry about the details.
Good call. Baxter. Just wants to see people happy. What a great character.
Yeah.
Adventure Time was a trip.
Yeah, it was. There were more than a few episodes where I was like, okay, what the fuck are these story writers / animators on?
Pendleton Ward had a really good run, and then they gave the show over to someone. There's like 2 seasons that are just like hot garbage.
Yeah.
And then
Where they basically
they
had
come
no
back
idea
strong.
what they were doing or where they were going.
Yeah. What are we supposed to do? This show doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Grables. We'll just have other people write the show for a little bit.
Why did you let the only person who knew what the hell was going on leave? The only show that people actually watch.
I'm pretty sure Adventure Time started with no plan at all. Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, they essentially had a one kind of throughput, like one arc they wanted to do. And then they stretched that over a bunch of seasons just with gags and stuff, which was fun. Like, that's great. The first 2 seasons were great. And then they just meandered for a while.
Yeah.
And the creator literally stated that. Yeah. I mean, like,
And that's fine, especially considering where kind of TV writing was at the time, and how projects got funded.
make a pilot, nonsensical show. Great. Like,
yeah. Steinfeld built an audience for that sort of thing.
yeah. I mean, at the same time, like, you have to think, like, the contemporaries of that were, like, Chowder, Flapjack, SpongeBob, like, the kind of non sequitur. Essentially what it is gag humor. Like,
yeah.
Just, like, tiny bits, lots of tiny bits. And I think even in Family Guy, which is kind of, like, the mainstream version of it, maybe even you can go back to South Park too, but South Park usually had one solid joke and then would interdisperse that joke with it, whereas Family Guy is just non sequitur. Like, it's completely just off the rails. Flapjack walked so Adventure Time could run, kind of, yeah. Like, because the other thing is that it was also in that time slot of like 15-minute episodes, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. It was a thing of its time, and then I think it ended really well, but it took them a while to get there.
Yeah. Also, like, if we're really gonna talk about it, like, its target audience was kids. Can you tell me, like, how many children's cartoon shows can you name that had a well thought through storyline planned from the beginning? Like, that's not the sort of content that usually has been made for children.
Yeah, I think Adventure Time, I don't know if it was made directly for kids, but it was like, that was the byproduct. Because I think they realized that they wanted to tell a story that was a little older. And then that's kind of where Steven Universe kind of got its thing. So I would say Steven Universe definitely was directed at an older audience for sure.
Yeah.
But I think maybe it's less that it was made in a space for kids, but Adventure Time got picked up by college students, like high school and college students.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what made it as popular as it was, because it kind of broke past that initial boundary. Princess Bubblegum was the arch villain of the show. A little bit.
Kind of, yeah.
Much different than Ren and Stimpy. Yeah, Ren and Stimpy was like, came on the heels of Tex Avery as kind of like raunchy cartoon. Like, just, it was a cartoon in name only, but like it's
yeah.
They definitely were sneaking things in there that were either for the parents or it was just never meant for kids to begin with. All right, I'm done with this guy. I don't know what else to do with him. Oh, my eyeball. Give me a minute. I'll take another quick break. Right back.
Yep.
Hello, Jude.
Hey, how you doing, Corvus?
I'm okay.
You come to see my Dampier slime?
I was wondering what you were drawing. I was like, pushing the boundary for YouTube, like always.
Yep.
Okay, I think it probably would have died quickly as an AS. Doesn't seem like a good fit. She was downright evil. Wait, Steven Universe was almost on Adult Swim.
Was it? I did not know that.
I don't know. Gripply Soul Knife is the next one I've drawn. A blue. Ooh, Stabby Frog. All right, here we go. Didn't I draw Soul Knife Gripply last week?
Uh,
I feel like I did.
I remember some kind of frog. I don't know if Soul Knife Gripply is exactly what it was, though. Definitely a frog with a knife.
Yep. Thumbnail looks like a frog monk. Was that a monk?
Yes, it was a Gripply monk.
Okay. We'll just copy the exact same thing and make it a knife. Hey,
You literally made the poster for the stream today.
Yeah. My brain don't remember that stuff. It is Frog Week though, so Frog Month. I better just get used to drawing frogs. Could have been a grung monk. That's hard to say. A gurngburg?
A grunk.
Yep.
All right. What does a 14 get me?
A male Herringun Watcher Paladin with a halberd.
Watcher Paladin.
I don't know what a Watcher Paladin is.
Me neither.
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
You talked about how you loved it. It's the anti-outsider paladin.
Oh.
Oath of the Watchers.
Okay. Yep. Right.
Which I feel like you have taken the idea and slapped onto your tree man.
Yeah. Except I stole it from Dresden, so.
Well, D&D probably did too.
How can we make this frog boy a little more aesthetically pleasing?
Look at Steve Sketch's stuff.
That's true. He does do
Copy
some-
that.
I've made a duck, is what I've done. I've drawn a small duck instead of a frog. Hold on a second. Ninja Turtle mask, we could do that. Maybe a hood?
I like that head.
Keeping the soul knife on his frog tongue so his mouth is glowing. Is that a Steve Sketches thing, or is that a... That's awesome. That doesn't look like Steve Sketches at all.
No, it's Pathfinder's thing.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a Gripply.
It is a Gripply Skirmisher. Level 4 creature.
I do like the pointy nose. Make him look a little less like a duck. I guess if you were a soul knife, you could use your tongue for the attack. That would be kind of interesting. I'd allow that. Can frogs regenerate their tongue? That's my question. Seems like they need it. But I guess not all frogs have like the super extendo tongue.
Yeah.
Blech.
Quite a few do not.
Yeah. I need to know when I need to step in and stop you two in chat, and I'll just leave it at that. What's up, Skip Cat? Pixel, don't you stop hunting him. Stop it. I'm gonna bite him. Don't you bite him. Don't lick him. No.
Just leave the poor old man alone.
I'm not doing anything. Yeah, I'm watching still. Cat.
Goofy goobers.
Anyone else able to keep focus with the newer Disney Star Wars stuff?
No.
I like it. I mean, it's only 3 episodes, but
I am not at all invested in the Star Wars, the Disney Star Wars universe. I think it's fine. I don't care enough to follow it. That's all.
the Rebels was written by Filoni, so I'm glad he's also doing Ahsoka. But I very much preferred the tone of the Clone Wars, which he tried to keep some of it, but it very much is just directed at a younger audience, and so it's like it is a little bit of a little bit hard to follow because it's just so cheesy, I guess. My laser sword is a slingshot. It's like, oh my god, like, stop it.
For kids, not for you.
Yep, exactly. It's for kids, not for me. I'm sure if I was freaking 10, I would have loved that. I would have just lost my mind. I love slingshots when I was a kid.
Yep.
So.
When I hear people my age and older like talking about like things like it's so cheesy anymore, it's like, are you sure it's meant for you? If you think it's overly cheesy, it's probably not meant for you. It's probably meant for like our little siblings.
Yep.
Or their little siblings. So newer generations.
Yep. Oh yeah, I guess the 4th episode came out last night, didn't it? I'll have to go watch that.
I will say, if their target audience is saying it's bad, then it's probably really bad.
Well, who's the target audience? I guess what are you talking about?
Well, what I mean is like if like the target audience, say for Rebels, is for younger kids.
Yeah.
And they're not enjoying it and saying it's cheesy, then it's probably being a bit too. Yeah.
I don't think that is the case. I think Rebels was pretty successful for what it did. I watched it. I watched Rebels because it has the characters in it that I like. So I was like, sweet. I want to see what happens to Ahsoka. I want to see what happens to, like, Kanan is a really cool character. He's one of the Jedis that survived the Order 66.
Yeah. Not even a Jedi. He was just
An apprentice, yeah.
An apprentice at that point.
So it was cool. It was cool seeing him go through that process of, like, trying to become a Jedi in a world that's, well, you're not supposed to be. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. So I like the voice actors too. But like the main problem I have with a lot of like those younger shows is they make the main characters just so fallible because they need to be very opaque to. That's what I'm saying. When you direct something towards kids, it's like you can't really be subtle. It's got to be very open, and so it makes the characters feel really stupid. Because it's like, why would you do that? It's like, oh, because this is directed at a kid that might not understand not to do that. And it's like, okay, I get it. So it makes the main characters really kind of blah. But the overall story was good. And now the main story of Ahsoka is they got rid of it. They just got rid of the main character, and I'm like, yes, okay. So I like what they're doing with Ahsoka so far.
Wait, isn't the main character of Rebels a kid? So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the main, he's I don't know, Ezra Bridger's like 12, something like that, 12, 14. Yeah.
Making stupid decisions is a norm.
Par for the course, yeah.
Exactly.
But like, it's the problem isn't when Ezra makes bad decisions. It's when the adults around him make equally stupid decisions.
Let's let the 12-year-old decide. It's like, let's not do that. Let's just so like, but like I said, that's expected because it's directed at younger. That's my only complaint with the series. Like the series itself is good, with the caveat that it is designed for a very young audience. So,
This is maybe the best rabbit head I've ever drawn.
Yeah, I haven't had any beefs with Ahsoka yet. Oh, Skip Cat. What? It's food time. Even though it's not food time, it's only 1:25. I like it when you feed us 5 times a day. Most Star Wars fans look at the past of the franchise through rose-colored glasses. Yeah, I mean, like, Star Wars has always had, especially the movies, have always had their issues.
Yeah. That is specifically the reason why I don't want to, like, participate in the new stuff, is because it's so hard to get away from all of that,
Yeah.
like, emotional baggage that everybody has associated with it. So
I think The Mandalorian did a really good job of that, of like combating that, because it basically gave us a character in a world we knew, but it didn't have any old characters. It has since added more, like it added Boba Fett, and it added like Luke Skywalker and stuff. But like, but just being the Mandalorian, it's like I kind of know what a Mandalorian is. Like I kind of get what this is. But then like you're diving into something that is in that universe but is new, and I think they did a really good job with it. I really liked it. And then they were like Baby Yoda, and you're like, what? That's similar to something I know. So I think the Mandalorian had a really good job, and it stayed true to its theming, which was like a Western. Which I also really dug. So, and then Andor felt a little more gimmicky because like it was trying to live up to the movie with the characters, but I still liked it. I really liked it. I think it kept up to its end of kind of introducing us to a character without having to rely on the movie itself. You didn't have to see the movie to enjoy Andor because it happens before he becomes that character, which is really cool. So I think the new generation of live action TV shows are doing a really good job. The movies are kind of meh, but they aren't made for me. Like they're made for, like I said, if I was 12 watching the new Star Wars movies, I'd be like, oh my god, I want to go see who Darth Vader is, right? Like,
yep.
I think that I've yet to have any issues with them. But it's very saturated. It's the same thing with the Marvel movies. I love Marvel movies. I finally saw the new Spider-Man, and it was great. Like I'm not mad about it at all, but like there's just such an oversaturation of Marvel shit right now that it's like I kind of don't care. Even though I love this, I'm not in a hurry to consume it. So we'll see how that goes. I binge watched all of the John Wick movies finally.
Oh, honey.
It was all right. It was a nice weekend of when we got COVID. We just sat down and watched all the John Wick movies one weekend, and it was like, yeah, it was good. Do you wish with our new film techs and all we could really make the aliens stop humifying them? I mean, I don't know if that's the intent. Because, like, you could, yeah. But do you need to? I don't know. The two things with Cad Bane, when they put Cad Bane in the show, I loved how they put him in the show, but the CG looked bad. Like that was probably like, I have two complaints with the CG for the Book of Boba Fett, and that's one of them. So I feel like they could just step their game up a little bit, but that was such an offshoot that I could see where they kind of started cutting corners. So I hope they don't do that anymore. But otherwise, when they did the AI rescaling of it, like someone went through and cleaned it up, it's like, oh, that's perfect. Like that's all it would have taken was, another couple $100,000.
Yeah.
John Wick's are fun action movies with the window dressing of much bigger world. Not a lot of substance. Yeah, exactly. I just saw that they're doing like The Continental as a TV show, and it's like, I don't need to see that, but I'll probably watch it just to see what it's up. But it's kind of focusing on the wrong
for assassins.
Yeah, I like that concept. It's a really good concept. but I'm worried that they're focusing on like the wrong part of the John Wick universe.
Is the right part everybody defend the dogs?
I mean, like, I don't know. The Continental is interesting, but like, I would love to have seen, like, John Wick is just a nonstop action smash, right? Which is great.
Yeah.
And then they're like, yeah, let's focus now on the sexy old man that runs the. It's like, hold on, no, I want to see John Wick on a regular mission, please. Like, can we see how this is supposed to work when you're not rampaging against the entire like industry? So I don't know. I really love the actor that played that character. Plays, I don't remember any of their names because that's not how my brain works.
Yeah, he's an Irish actor.
He played Odin Wednesday. Sorry, he played Wednesday in New American Gods.
Also, Professor Broom in the new Hellboy.
Yep. Yeah,
Which was the weirdest actor choice, but I got over it because I like the actor.
Yeah. I really like the actor.
Hang on.
But the character is just like, the character was kind of, he's a background character, like completely background character. And so I just, the fact that they chose him to be the next show runner is like, that's a little weird choice. So who knows?
Gotcha.
Ian McShane.
Sounds right. 50 plus years of build-up in canon is the reason why I generally prefer seeing new IPs instead of something rather than dragging it out. Yeah.
Yep, same.
I'd rather see more like Mandalorian, like tell us more of what hasn't seen the Endscape. Exactly. Yeah, that's totally fine. Optimistic for the Darth Maul series. I think that would be really cool. Darth Maul's got a pretty good story, and I want to see how they tell it. I forgot about Obi-Wan, but they did a really good job with Obi-Wan too. And that was another one where they kind of pull it. They're getting better at telling stories without having to reference the movie, which I think is something that they have a boon for, opposed to Marvel movies, which like if you jump into any Marvel movie or show, they're just like, remember what happened in the movie? And it's like, I don't. It's been 3 fucking years since I saw that. I don't remember what's happening. Who are all these people? And so I think the new team is doing a really good job of that for Star Wars, and less so for Marvel. Which is another reason that I feel like I'm burned out on Marvel stuff.
I remember when I watched. What was the last Marvel movie?
Guardians of the Galaxy?
Endgame or?
Who?
Was Endgame the very last one, or what was the one before that one?
You are asking the wrong person.
Age of Ultron.
Infinity War?
Oh, shit.
I have no idea.
Was Infinity War after Endgame? I don't remember. This is the problem. This is the problem. It's like it's homework. Like, you can't just sit down and enjoy the content.
Movies in order.
I missed Iron Man 2. I watched 1 and then I watched 3, and I was like, did I miss one of these? I missed Iron Man 2 completely.
Even I watched Iron Man 2.
Endgame was the last Avengers movie.
Okay.
With the OG crew. I watched Infinity Wars at a drive-in, whatever they called. And I was completely lost. Like, who's this weird antenna chick? Like, she's useless. Get rid of her. Snap, go. She doesn't do anything. Get rid of Quill while you're at it.
Quill's a piece of shit. Oh man, I just watched the last Guardians of the Galaxy. God, that was a sad movie. But yeah, I had that same moment of just like, God, where are we? What was the last thing that happened? I don't know what's going on anymore.
Yeah. And then like like a year later, I ended up watching the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie where like he meets his dad and just like
that one's good. That's a
His
good one.
planet father.
Yep.
yeah.
Marvel stuff just it really falls apart to me as soon as they start branching into multiverses and bringing in the Celestials. Like I like their concept of the Celestials.
Mm-hmm.
And what's his name? Planet Eater.
Galactus.
Galactus. Yeah, Galactus as like the anti-celestial force of entropy left over, like the last remaining vestige of the previous cosmos. Like I like all of that. I have a real hard time as soon as any of that comes into any of the storylines.
Yeah, I can see that. It's just too big.
It's
too
big. It's too big.
Like the Eternals was awful. It was just a bad movie.
Just sad because they put Angelina Jolie in it, and like the Eternals comic book art, like a lot of the covers are done by one of my favorite artists, Rick Barry.
I mean, yeah, like they do such a good job on production, but like the Eternals is just it's too big of a scope of a thing to like. It should have been a TV show, so it felt rushed. There were too many characters that we didn't really get introduced to. There was too much story. They were trying to like, here's all of the prequel, like, sorry, not prequels, but like the preamble for this is, you know, millions of years has happened, and now here we are, and it's just like, so who the fuck these people? What? And then at the end of it, they're just like, oh, by the way, giant god angry. It's like, okay. Nothing that I just saw was good. Like, let's take a minute. Let's take a minute and try to refocus all of it. Like, what the hell just happened? So
how are we supposed to get to the point where Tony Stark creates an artificial celestial in order to fight the other celestials that are going to destroy Earth from this point? Spoilers, by the way. Sorry. Anyway, no, it's like it's all gotten too convoluted, and I'm not invested in it.
Yeah, I think
because it's too hard to be invested in.
I think that's kind of the fatigue that I'm getting from a lot of the people I talk to about it. It's just like some of this is good, with the exception of the Eternals. It's almost all good. It's just there's a lot of fatigue for it. I really liked Winter Soldier.
I haven't seen that one.
The Falcon and Winter Soldier. That was good. That was a good little series.
Based on like the premise of that, like how it was kind of like buddy cop, but
yeah, exactly.
They hate each other. Like that. I don't know. I didn't care for that premise. That kind of turned me off. I was like, nah, I'm not interested in this.
Yeah, it was good. But that's what it is. That is what it is. So I wouldn't say like. It sounds like you wouldn't like why I liked it. So
fair.
Because I like both of those actors are so good at the kind of like that. It was good. It was a good buddy film. So I like it. Like Spider-Man and Deadpool movies. Yeah. Moon Knight was good too.
I kind of like the buddy comedy genre, but I really have to be in a specific mood for it. And I just have not been lately. And especially not connected to Marvel, where like you said, it is work in order to keep track of everything that's happening. I want my buddy comedy to be as low effort as possible.
I'm rolling 2d10 plus a die to equal out the number I need to roll.
Mm-hmm.
I have rolled a 10 every single time. Like one of my d10s has been a 10 every time I've rolled today. It's very weird me out.
Reroll.
That one overshot, so I need to go loop it. So that's 25. Nope, that's a reroll. That is
What's
actually a
sad,
reroll.
the only buddy cop movie I'm thinking of is Turner and Hooch.
I mean, Lethal Weapon, Rush Hour, Bad Boys.
The Emperor's New Groove.
The Emperor's New Groove. Yeah, it's technically a buddy film. Aliens vs. Predator 2. No, first Aliens vs. Predator. First Aliens vs. Predator. It's a buddy film.
But only until halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
I weirdly liked that one. I don't know why. It's probably when I was young and saw it. I was like young, like preteen.
I mean, Aliens vs. Predator is essentially it's closer to Die Hard than it is to a Predator movie. Like, it's just an action smash, which is great.
That was a wild thing to say, and I have not seen it because I had always assumed it would be horror based on the fact that both Alien and Predator are horror.
Yeah, no, they went hard.
It's also like
That's hilarious.
working from the weird conspiracy basis of like there's a lost civilization buried under the ice in Antarctica.
We found a pyramid in Antarctica and we're going there. By the way, it's underneath a weird whaling city. It's like, that's convenient, but okay.
Yep.
It's good. I recommend that movie. It's fun. It's bad, but it's good. Like, it's a
It's
high
like a
budget
B movie
B
with
film.
a good budget.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly is what it is.
Well,
My cousin was one of the predators in the suit at the end of AVP. Nice. That's awesome. We had a second one that was so bad, but not fun. Yeah, the second one was... The thing that was fun about AVP was that there were a bunch of aliens and a bunch of predators. And it's like, oh, this is bananas. And the people were just kind of in the way. In Aliens vs. Predator 2, there was one predator, no aliens, until I think like very late. God, I don't remember. It was so hard to see. Like everything was just dark and black. And so you never saw the aliens, you never saw the predators. It was just a bunch of people running around, not doing anything.
Cloverfield.
Yeah, Cloverfield, same thing. Like, ugh, it was bad.
I watched it, and it weirdly reminds me of, I guess it was the second Predator movie, where he goes to New York.
Yeah, that was also the one with Danny Glover in it.
Yep.
I've only seen that one once, and it was the TV edited version. So, like, I need to rewatch it. But it's the one I haven't seen. But it was an action movie. It was 100% an action movie because the first Predator was supposed to be. It was like presented as an action movie, and then was a horror movie. Like that was its trick. And then the second one, they're just like, no, let's just make it an action movie, and it wasn't as good because it didn't have that like kind of creepy horror element to it. What if we're fighting drug lords with a renegade cop?
Yep.
Who's the best hunter in the United States? Hunting drugs. All right, 11.
And has like and each little gang was like such a stereotypical weird thing. Like there was one group that was like Jamaican voodoo.
Yeah.
Or Haitian voodoo. I'm just like, what? What is this?
Half dwarf, half Goliath blacksmith.
So a human.
Yeah, this is a human.
Human blacksmith.
Very stocky human. So, me and Rook.
Monster movies can end up in thriller territory sometimes. I view Predator in the same way, just like a Jurassic Park or Terminator. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, how am I going to do this? It's basically just going to be a Goliath with a beard. That's what I'm going to do.
Grog. You're drawing Grog.
Yep. Okay. You are a menace.
Put myself in a difficult position vis-a-vis this back arm. How do I put halberd in it?
I'm gonna go feed the cat. They are
okay.
They're sad cats.
You just
Please. Please.
I'm just gonna do this. Yeah, poor cats, they've only been fed twice now today. Whoa.
Do.
So I've decided that one of the nice things about drawing armor, specifically,
Mm-hmm.
is that if I'm drawing an anthro character, I don't need to worry so much about morphing the anatomy between humanoid and animal. So I guess that's one benefit of clothes.
Oh, you would love the druid in Baldur's Gate 3. Druid.
Do they refuse to wear anything ever?
Out of mechanical reasons they do, but like they constantly talk like how they hate clothes. It's like, oh dear, it's druid as an actual druid.
Pretty much, yeah. Like if I could snap my fingers and just be wrapped in a bear pelt,
Okay.
why would I wear denim jeans?
Denim's great.
Why would anyone wear denim?
Not gonna lie, I hate the giant head look on the gnomes and halflings. Being a furry, not safe for work artist, I don't get the benefit much. I'm missing something in conversation.
Gamma is talking about. I mentioned that the nice thing about drawing armor is that I don't have to worry about morphing between when I'm drawing an anthro character. I don't have to worry about meshing human and animal anatomy. That's what they're referring to.
Either hobbit proportions indistinguishable from gnomes or have absolute dump truck.
Yeah. Cosmic, I get where you're coming from with not liking the giant head look on gnomes and halflings. It is really hard to sell the scale of them being small if you don't give them toddler head.
Yeah.
Because if you look at like earlier D&D art for halflings, like
They're just small people.
yeah, literally just leprechauns. Like take human, give it slightly pointed ears, shrink it down to like 12 inches tall.
Yeah.
You have a halfling.
Yeah.
And I think a good way to look at that is like when they did the Lord of the Rings movies. Like the feet prosthetic make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't just look like someone is far away. Like they had to use a lot of forced perspective, but on top of that, like whenever they saw somebody running, like having the bigger feet just makes them fit better in the scene. If you don't distort some of the proportions, they come across as juvenile, not just small. Yeah. There's another there's another
100%.
example of this in
It's a hard thing to get right.
Final Fantasy 14. Literally what they did for a long time in the early games was just shrink it down. Like they just scaled the figures down, and so for all the kids, and so whenever there was a kid, it was just like, why is that tiny person there? That's very strange. And so then they just fixed it by making it a child. Like they made one child model and then just made all the children that model.
Oh no!
Across the board. And it's like so there's one elf child and one human child character model, and that is it. Everything else is just scaled people.
So it's literally the same problem you have with the elephant people.
Yeah. It's
because they basically just decided that didn't want to build a different frame, right? So
Yep.
they had to scale the elephant head down so that it worked on the character armature that they had.
Cutting corners.
So
When-
now we're-
Sorry, go
Go
ahead. No, you've been trying to say something for the past minute. You go first.
I was just gonna say, when you mentioned that there's only a human and elf child model, and then I started thinking, yeah, because there's no child Rogadin
Mm-hmm.
at all.
Nope.
There's they just pop out of the ground as adults, fully formed.
Are the Rogadins the big rock people?
Yeah.
Formerly Galkas?
Yeah,
Okay.
who are also pirates, if they're green.
That's racist.
There's only like 200 people that exist in that universe, so they'll do that. They'll call the entire, call the city together, and it's like there's like 8 people here. What's going on? Because they couldn't get the their net code is garbage. Because the game was rebuilt 3 times.
Yep.
So it's bad. Notoriously bad.
Yeah. In terms of going back to the previous discussion about proportions of tiny characters, I do tend to make the heads slightly larger, but I try to pull from reference of people of little people in real life, people who have skeletal dwarfism, because I think that people are generally familiar enough with that you can manage to use them as reference and still pull off a little person who still feels like an adult. I do still fall by the wayside with gnomes, especially giving them toddler head though.
I just draw them like I draw goblins at this point. They're just people goblins.
Elf goblins.
Yeah. Orc goblins, I guess. Or I guess. Sorry, now my brain is backwards. Gnomes are people goblins, like elves are orc people. Human, elf, orc, hobgoblin? I guess people are hobgoblins. We'll do that.
Yeah.
Gnomes to goblins. Yeah. Elves to orcs. I'm gonna make it bald. It's Kratos.
Gnomes are giant brownies. I love the willows from brownies. Or the brownies from Willow. Holy shit.
I think it might be time for y'all to call it a day.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit of verbal dyslexia. It's fine. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Far enough from
I'm happy.
humans and styles and still recognized as goblins. I honestly don't like the 5e goblins. That is maybe a hot take, but I don't like them.
Hashtag Paizo goblins suck.
Yeah. I love Paizo goblins. Oh,
I hate
I forgot you and I are
so much.
opposed to this. Yes, we have opposite opinions of goblins.
I prefer thin, sharp ears, bulbous, pointy noses. I cannot stand the football heads and just too wide of a smile. Too much Hey Arnold.
Yeah.
Fair. I'm not sure which goblin I like the most. I think that I like Pathfinder goblins better than 5e goblins, but that might just because I'm a Paizo simp. That might just be because I'm a Paizo simp.
They're more interesting.
How-
They're more interesting than 5e goblins. It's just 5e goblins.
I will say,
Good.
I don't. My hatred of Paizo goblins isn't that bad. It's just I prefer the aesthetics of the D&D ones. I will firmly put my foot down that Paizo's hobgoblins are just bad. I hate them. I was like, why'd you make them just stretched out goblins?
I think I
You took
agree
a
with
goblin
you there.
and put it through put it on a stretching rack and just called it a hobgoblin. And I hate it.
I really like the 5e hobgoblins, and I feel
Mhm.
like the goblins are just compressed versions of them. And so it's just Warcraft has great goblins. They do. This is more of like the classical fantasy goblin though. Like that design was from Warhammer, and Magic had them for a while too before Warcraft.
I think I like the Lord of the Rings movies. People in prosthetics are goblins.
Weta did a great job. Weta did a great job.
Yeah.
I like the ones they had in the Mines of Moria, which may have been orcs. I can never.
The pale ones, because I hated that.
No.
Okay.
Not Azog, but like when they first go to Moria in the Fellowship, and they're like crawling out of the ceiling like spiders.
Yeah. Yep. The ones that like you can't really see their faces, like they're just the armor and the claws. That was really good.
Yeah, and like the one that you do see, they got like huge, like almost like golem-sized eyes.
Yep.
Lord.
Yep. They did a great job on this.
Yep.
The Hobbit movies were a disappointment, to say the least. I highly recommend people go watch the Tolkien edit of that movie. It's so funny. Where they remove all the elves. The elves and the orcs. Ugh, so much better. It's so much better.
Let's see. How many more of these do you think we got?
It's 2 o'clock. I'm kind of running on steam. I'm not doing well with this one. I'm struggling.
Okay.
So if you want to do another one, that's fine. I'm gonna take my time, I think.
Well, I always take a lot of. Oh, okay. If you're gonna take your time, then I'll roll for one more.
Okay.
We'll see how much I get done. 4.
I'm so sorry. A Harengun cowboy styles an arcane archer who uses dual hand crossbows. Apparently, it's Bunny Day.
Dual hand crossbows.
Arcane archer.
Lone Ranger. Okay.
You could draw a Vieira this time if you really want.
I could.
It says cowboy, but cowboy is a gender fluid term to me. I mean, cowgirl exists, but
that has a certain connotation for some people.
I'll leave it up to chat. We want traditional Harengon, another bunny, or do you want Do you want the Vieira from Final Fantasy?
we'll put up a poll. We'll see how thirsty chat is.
Which is, if people don't know, they're literally just tall ladies with bunny ears. Maybe ever so slightly fuzzy noses. Just ever so slightly.
There are male Vieira too, but they're supposed to be really rare.
Because they're the stay-at-home dads.
You literally named this poll thirsty. Damn you.
Let's hope not vote.
Vieira have biological high heels.
Yeah, like what's her name from
They're
like Kerrigan from.
Yep. Their racial specific clothing is a nightgown. Don't blame me.
I wouldn't even call it a nightgown. I'd call it a negligee.
Is there a difference?
Nightgown encompasses any amount of
bathrobery.
bathrobery, whereas a negligee is like specifically pre-sexy times
Okay, that makes sense.
sleepwear. No, Gamma. They do not just mean digitigrade legs. They have human-ish feet with rabbit toes and a bone. Like instead of a dew claw, it's a high heel spike.
Yep.
Yep.
This is what Herringon legs look like. Go look at my Herringon video. 'Cause it's great.
Did the poll close?
Thanks, I hate it. Yeah, you're welcome.
Yep.
Did everybody vote? How many people we got here? We got 8 votes, but it looks like most of those are for Herringon, so
Those are for Aragon. Okay,
not thirsty. Good to know.
that's okay.
Should,
I've
use
drawn
a,
I've drawn enough stuff today for them to be thirsty about. We can cool down now.
you should use a jackrabbit as a model.
I saw some lady on YouTube or TikTok. I don't remember. It was a short.
So both.
Yeah, probably. My assumption is that they live on a what's the hair you get from rabbits? Cashmere?
No,
Pashmina?
no, pashmina is a specific type of scarf, and I believe it is cashmere, which comes from a goat. Starts with a P, I think.
Anyways, she picks up this giant ass fluffy rabbit, and the other rabbit just runs up to her and just starts like whapping her with its front legs, just like fuck you. It's like this. You're not. It's fine. You dumb. Rabbits are dumb.
Burning's right. It's Angora.
Angora. There we go.
Which is a specific type of rabbit as well.
Yeah, Angora rabbits are rabbit sheep.
Yep.
A pelt? No. You can get the fur. They bolt. I think is what it's called. Where they just
Bolting?
blow coat is what it's called.
They shed.
Yeah. When they have babies, they just like and use their own fluff to make bedding. So you can take that and make really, really soft wool out of it.
Or just take a cat brush and
Yeah. Bold of you to assume that it wasn't the thirsty option. I mean, I left it open.
I think they're accusing some people in chat of being either furries or I'm just gonna leave it there.
Sure.
Probably just accusing people in chat of being furries, or maybe accusing me of being a furry. I'm not sure.
be nice people.
Hey, accusing somebody of being a furry is not an insult.
Not inherently an insult.
Gotta draw the rabbit before I draw the hat.
Put the cart before the horse, or whatever arrangement of those words are.
Yeah. Kind of bearing the lead there, Mabel. That's one of my favorite sayings. I don't know why.
It is really hard for me to draw rabbit folk and not make it look like a kangaroo.
I mean, yeah. Nothing wrong with that. They're just tall rabbits.
Pretty much.
Just like they're small horses. I am a furry. It is an insult. Well, don't be a dick.
Well, I don't consider myself a furry, but do not get offended when somebody thinks that I am or tries to wrap me up in the community, because I think that the furry community is fucking awesome.
I wasn't sure where you were going with that. Does that mean everybody that likes anime is a furry? Brain breaks.
Arguably, yes.
Depends on the anime. I'm tired. I can't take any more. I'm actualing today. I watched a whole bunch of Taskmaster yesterday. That was pretty fun. That show's silly.
I watched a bunch of clips of the new Dimension 20, the one Hank Green's playing in. I want to watch the whole thing so bad. Hank is apparently really good
Oh, I bet.
at this, at playing D&D. Fix is also just such a hilarious character.
I remember him being in another, wasn't Dimension 20, but it was a
Actual play?
yeah. Geek and Sundry. They did a thing. It was like with a game. I almost want to call it Titanfall, but it's not Titanfall. It was like a sci-fi game that uses a D6 system.
Hmm.
I don't remember what it
And
was.
had like Laura in it.
Titan's Grave?
Maybe Titan's Grave. And the GM was a kid from Star Trek. Can't remember his name already. Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton.
Kid from Star Trek. God damn it.
He's the only kid in Star Trek.
You're
God.
absolutely right. Like, it just took me a second because you said that, and I was like, uh-huh. All that tracks, and then I was like, wait a minute.
Shut up, Wesley.
That does work. I don't know if you, like, you know, the weird guy with the ugly face. Oh yeah, this guy. Exactly. It's like, how did you, what? It's just like, it's always funny when, like, because what you said, like, it didn't even faze me. It was just like, yep, the kid from Star Trek. I know what you're talking about.
Jackrabbit as reference was a really good shout, Corvus.
With Cowboy West, Jackrabbits
Yeah.
are everywhere.
Yeah. They have also got cool eye makeup, basically, which is gonna make the eyes look really cool underneath the hat. Now, the question is, do I want to put ear holes in the hat, or do I want to give him big ol' droopy ears?
Droopy ears? Droopy ears.
Droopy ears, I think. The paladin had very upright ears, which I felt was important for the Watcher Paladin, because it was the only thing that I had to show that they were like,
Mr.
I
Perceptions.
guess. Yeah. Yeah.
We are the watchers on the wall. Is it too cold?
Oof. That is an ugly hat that I just drew.
That's some bad hat, Druid.
I'll fix it.
Such a good movie.
You were asking what to do with the ears, and my mind went to, this is going to be a deep cut that probably no one will get, but in the show Bonanza, there's a character named Haas, and he has this huge hat, because he's a very large character, so he has like a really tall kind of cowboy hat. Just stuff the ears up in the cowboy hat.
Cowboy hats are always harder to draw than you expect them. Yeah, they're a weird shape.
Yep.
Bonanza. Yep, good stuff.
Like I say, if anyone's going to know, it's probably Rook.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, I
Probably
watched
on
Bonanza.
cable. Or
It was on regular TV because
Yep.
it's so old.
Yep.
I remember Bonanza coming on the TV and being like, ugh, I don't want to watch this. Anything else? Anything else? That's a little bit better.
God, who's the main character in Bonanza?
was less a main character and more of like,
There's like lots of little shows, right? Or little shorts.
no, there was kind of a, well, all
What?
shows basically were a bunch of little stories. It was about like a family.
Am I thinking of Gunsmoke? I might be thinking of Gunsmoke.
Yeah.
I
Marshall
remember.
Dillon.
Yeah. That's
He's
what I was
skinny.
thinking of. Yep, okay. That's what my head was at. Who's the who's the guy from Little House on the Prairie?
He is in Bonanza.
He's in
It's like-
Bonanza? Okay.
Yep. It was like one of his first shows he ever did.
Yeah.
He's like super young. Meaning he's probably like almost 40.
Well, I think he was like 20 then.
Maybe.
I think he's dead now.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. When I think of Little House on the Prairie, I think it's like, I don't know, almost 50 years old, which I know it's not.
It might be.
No.
You should look that up. I think Little House on the Prairie was coming out in 70s. It was color.
Yeah.
Michael
Landon, by his
Landon,
name, by the
yeah.
way.
Michael Landon was in his 40s and 50s in the 90s. My brain is putting together.
Okay, so the first episode aired in 74.
Boom. Wait, a Bonanza or Little House on the Prairie?
Little House on the Prairie.
Okay, so if in 70s he was, I'm going to say 30.
He was born in 36.
Which would make him 90. I think he died a long time ago, but...
Yeah, he passed away in 91 at
Yeah.
the age of 54.
Okay. Yeah, Little House on the Prairie, 50 years ago. There you go.
He was 22, so when he started Bonanza.
My TV brain is good. Good math do.
Oh, I guess I was thinking Bonanza was I mean, it's an older show, but I was thinking it was like in the late 50s, but it came out in 1960.
Yeah.
So
I think Gunsmoke was 50s, wasn't it? 50s or 60s? Maybe it should be probably about the same time.
I know Gunsmoke started out black and white and then shifted to color.
Did Gunsmoke, Andy Griffith, I Love Lucy, and that was it. That was all the things that were on TV. Maybe the Twilight Zone. I don't actually know how the Twilight Zone came out. I never saw the reruns of it.
Never watched any of it.
You're not a Josh Joe show.
Yeah, I thought the Twilight Zone started in like the 60s.
I think it did. Little House on the Prairie was touched by an angel.
Started in 1959.
Is that a picture of jackrabbits whapping each other?
Yes.
I punch you real good. So funny.
No, I feel like The Twilight Zone was one of those shows that started out as like a radio show.
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of the intent.
Like how Doctor Who started as a radio show.
I found it.
Is Doctor Who originating as a radio show the reason why the TARDIS makes that sound?
Probably.
I always wondered about that. I always thought that was unnecessary for TV.
It is a weird noise. Right? You give me back my lady.
Playing bongos. Funny.
Whippity whap 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 whap.
He just keeps coming back.
I will whap you again. I will taunt you a second time. Now, go away. Just give me the weirdest look. What the fuck?
What is wrong with you, human?
Sleeping. Knock that shit off. I think that's probably what we're going to call it for the day.
Sounds good.
Trying to think about anything else. Probably going to go work on a video. I have a meeting I need to attend.
Rest your eyes for a bit.
Rest my eyes for a little bit. If I get a commission, I might be on, do a secret stream tomorrow or something, but otherwise I'm probably just going to take the day off. While I get this figured out. Those of you that are curious, essentially we have to go in and do a... Basically there's scar tissue in my eye now. So my eye is relatively mostly healed from all the crap that happened earlier in the year. But there's now scar tissue that has to be removed. Because it's affecting my vision. It's affecting my vision now. It's getting worse. So that's not good. So we're going to try to deal with that. I shouldn't be out for too much. I will be gone next week, next Wednesday. Actually, I might be gone Friday too. So next week might just be a week off. I'll be around though, so we'll try to get the video done and we'll try to do some other stuff. But the Patreon members, the bugbears and above, are going to get sent stickers today. Probably tomorrow. I think the mailman already drove by. But I'll get all that stuff set up today. So if you would like to get some OTTER stickers, I'm selling them as a set right now. So you can either click the link down below, or you can just contact me on Discord and I'll send it out to you if you don't want to join the Patreon group. So those are both options. You had a cataract? No, I didn't have a cataract. I actually damaged my retina. I had a
aneurysm in your eye?
Yeah, an aneurysm in my right eye, which just filled my eyeball with blood, and then that caused scar tissue. So we have to go take care of that. Yeah, it's been a weird year. It's been a weird year, to say the least. So we'll take care of that next week. Take the week off, and then we should be back after that. I'll be around drawing stuff in the Discord. That's it. That's all I got. Thanks for hanging out today, everybody. Thanks for the suggestions. We'll be back on Friday to finish these up. Try to get some more of them on the list done. We still have 18 left. So we got through a few today, which is good. And we'll try to hit the rest of them up on Friday. Maybe we'll do some like speed sketches or something to try to get through the list this week, since we won't have one next week. Or we could do it earlier. I guess we could do it on like Tuesday or Monday, but then we'd have to maybe put the list up on Friday. Do that. This is Rose. Thank you very much. Otherwise, yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Thanks again for hanging out. See if there's anybody that wants to be raided. And then we'll call it a day.
Grade.
Raid. I'm kind of wondering if I should just go to Twitch and like give everybody a link to go raid somebody on Twitch. Because there's never anybody streaming on YouTube when I'm done. Indestructible is going. Ooh, Flunky's doing too. Oh, this is upcoming. Okay. There'll be more art. Acrylic underpainting or vagabond class design? What do people want?
More art or more D&D?
Yeah.
Choose wisely.
Go check out more D&D stuff.
Sounds good.
Alrighty, thanks again, everybody. Stay happy, stay healthy, keep your dust at the table. We'll catch y'all later. Bye.